Welcome to O People of the Book YouTube channel.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله
O People of the Book YouTube channel.
نبرات شعري سطرت لمداد حبري والقلم نبرات شعري سطرت لمداد حبري والقلم نبرات شعري سطرت لمداد حبري والقلم هيا قصائد سائلي قلب النوى ليس الشبم هيا قصائد سائلي قلب النوى ليس الشبم
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulullah. I hope I'm going out at the moment. Let me check. Let me double check and see if I'm going out. 1 second. Because usually what happens is that I'm online and I'm talking and nothing's going out. So let's have a look. Right, let's see now. Yeah. So 1 second. Let me go. Let me go to my channel and see. So, right. Okay, let me hear the sound. If the sound is okay, then fine. Right, okay. So the sound is going out. So fine. Yep. Right, I'm going out. Okay then. Okay. So Bismillah, Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulullah. I hope everything is okay. And sorry for the delay. I've been held up by something because I had some serious thing to sort out. But like the show goes on, of course, like and I might have to leave it early today because I have something to do. But anyway, good news that I've become a grandfather again. My daughter's given birth, so there you go. Anyway, just to announce what's her name? Anyway, so let's start up with the show again. What I'm going to present to you again this week is the same brother who we done last time, Coach Nadir. I seem to like his work. He seems to have some very good work, and shout out to him. His podcast, his YouTube channel is Outstanding Personal Relationships. And apart from him, apart from others, like he seems to have some good work. So what we'll do is today we'll watch something from him. It's got a subject called "Why Men Want Multiple Wives." Okay, that's something obvious. I've been talking about this for a long time, and I've been mentioning that there are several reasons why men want several wives. But there are different reasons. But again, Allah has made us different, and a lot of people don't seem to understand it that Allah has made us different. So we're gonna, without any further ado, we're going to go to this brother's podcast, which is very interesting. He's got some very good work he's doing, and I'd like to say kudos to him. and we'll just start with that, and then we'll go back to the book again as usual, that as we usually do. And like I said, today I'll make it a little bit shorter because I have things to do. And yeah, so let's start with the brother, Coach Nadir, who seems to be experienced in polygyny because he already has 2 wives, and obviously, like, we can learn from him. There's these things we can learn from each other, like, and people who've got experience. Obviously, we can learn from them. So let's see what he has to say. So here we go, Coach Nadir, and hats off to you, and shout out to you, and please like, share, and subscribe his channel. Like, share, and subscribe my channel as well. And don't forget, you're watching us on O People of the Book, and you're watching us on what's the name as well. You're watching us on Consider This TV. Yeah. So like and share, and without further ado, let's go into his channel and see what he has to say.
I know you said, oh, women deserve variety and all that stuff too. Men and women are not the same. Warning, viewer discretion is advised. The content, views, and educational material you are about to experience could challenge your belief, trigger strong emotions, and frankly, piss you off. This isn't for everyone. If you're not ready to confront new ideas, or if your feelings bruise easily, this might be the time to click away. Expect to be challenged, to think, and you might even want to scream at the screen. Proceed with caution, and remember, you chose to be here. Let's get it. Assalamu alaikum, peace. I'm Coach Nadir, one of the founders of Outstanding Personal Relationships, as well as one of the authors of Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored. Now, I'm putting together a series that's going to be answering the most common question that I get from women, whether they're single, whether they're married or not. And that is, why do men, husbands in particular, desire multiple?
Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. David Costa, the Dean and CEO here at Robert Kennedy.
Just cut us just there.
Wives.
Okay, right. This question I always tell sisters as well. It's no point asking this question because obviously, it's a question that it's a no-brainer basically, because Allah created us differently, and we have different desires, we have different roles. Allah's given us different roles as well. So we cannot ask a question to a man and accept a lady to understand it. You see, so it's very it's a very complicated matter. So let's
for men, we don't have to really ask that question. We already know it's something in us. However, I'm just going to let you know and give you a caveat that even after going through this series, you're not going to fully grasp or understand what that is. All right, what the reason.
Exactly, yeah. So if a man was to tell a woman, I want multiple wives because of this, because of that, she still wouldn't understand it because we don't understand them. We don't understand them. There's things about them that we don't understand, that we're not supposed to understand because we are men, and even if we told them, if we told them why, it might not make sense to them. Yeah, so brother's got a good point there, and hats off to him. And again, like I said, please like and share his channel, and like and share ours as well. Yeah, and let's go.
Are. You may intellectually have a foundation. You may even be able to articulate it after I share these different things with you. But not saying that to say that you are intellectually defunct. But what I am saying is, just like I would never be able to fully grasp and understand what it's like to have a menstrual cycle, to give birth, or even have the desire to give birth.
Okay, exactly. You see, same things that I'm saying, we would not understand them. They go through things that we don't understand. And I'm sure that, we will not understand them, things that they go through, and they will not understand things that we go through. So it's a no-brainer, basically, although the sisters ask this question all the time, but it's a no-brainer, basically, yeah? Anyway, so let's go back to the brother.
Especially if you've already given birth to children. Okay, I can intellectually say some different reasons, but as a man, never be able to grasp it fully. So with that being said, why do men want multiple wives? Well, with the hundreds of men that I've coached and clients and students that have gone through our courses, there's a common thread. And it basically falls into two different categories. So this first category is
okay. So one thing I'd like to remind you is this brother is a coach. Yeah, he's a coach in relationships. So obviously he's got his website, and he, if you need a coach, then he'll be able to help you. So he mentions that he has experience in this. He has experience. He's spoken to thousands of brothers and sisters or whatever on this issue. So obviously he's speaking from experience here. It's not just somebody who doesn't know what he's talking about or whatever. He's speaking from experience. Okay, so let's go back to this.
Listen. Now, if you're unmarried or if you are married in monogamy, it's really this first category. The first category, I'm going to say it has nothing to do with the wife, nothing to do specifically with whoever you're married to.
Okay, we've mentioned this before. When we went to the book, in the book it did mention, it did tell the sisters that it's nothing to do with them. You haven't done anything wrong. It's not because you're not beautiful. It's not because you're not this, because you haven't done that or whatever. So it has nothing to do with the current life. No matter how much sisters think that, this has happened because of his wife, and his wife. We went through a whole thing in female psyche. Female psychology. When we went through the book, that was one of the things that it mentioned, that it has nothing to do with the wife. So the wives, when they think about this, why did he get another wife? They have to take that out of the equation. It's not because it's anything to do with the sister. Okay.
Or if you're not married, it's just already in you anyway. So that's the category. It has nothing to do with your current wife. All right. Then the second category there are some things that you may be dissatisfied with or just wanting that are not done by or with your current wife.
Okay, that's another thing as well. Yeah, there are some things in life from the time you got married. Yeah, there's a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that mentions. I will paraphrase it because, I have to search the hadith and bring it. He says, do not dislike a woman because there may be something in her that you like and something that you don't like. So there, like I said, I paraphrased it as it it's probably longer than that. Anyway, so there are some things that you are dissatisfied with. You might be married to a woman and she doesn't do things that the way you want her to do, and you've told her several times, you've asked her several times, do it this way and please, for the pleasure of your husband, but she still doesn't do it. Okay, and it may be in daily life. Maybe in daily life she has a habit of doing this, and you've told her for years and years and years, you've been married to her, and she still doesn't do it. Yeah. Then another sister who you see that quality in her, she might be prepared to be that way. So she might be prepared to when you look at her life, you think, hey, this sister's got that quality in her, and then you think, well, I'm not going to hate my wife because of that, but one of the reasons you want what's her name. And also it says, want that or not done by with your current wife. So there's things maybe in bed, even maybe in bed, your wife is inhibited or whatever, and there's certain things that she wouldn't like to do, and halal things. I'm not talking about haram things or whatever, but different people are different, and you find a sister who who's more appealing to that, and this type of thing. But anyway, the brother explains it much better,
and those fall into three different categories. So the first is going to be dealing with emotionally unfulfilled, then there's the physically unfulfilled, and then there is the mentally unfulfilled. All right, so whether or not this man or your husband desires multiple wives, something that's already in us. But that's too simple of an answer, right? So I'm going to share, to begin with you, really the first part, the things that don't have anything to do with you as a wife, if you're a wife, or as a woman, if you're not married yet. Number one, I already shared a video for my reasons of desiring to practice polygyny. And again, for ease of terms, polygamy means a spouse who has multiple spouses. With that definition, clearly, being genderless, you'll notice spouse having multiple spouses is the broader term. To be more specific, polygyny means a husband who is married to multiple wives.
Okay, I've explained that several times to try and make the difference between polygamy and polygyny, and why we prefer to use the word polygyny, because we're talking about polygyny itself. We're not talking about polygamy. We're not talking about men and women having several partners or whatever. We're talking about the husband himself, which is halal in Islam. Anything else is not halal. So it's good, like, that we point out, especially for those who are new, and like, maybe for those who are just tuning into the show for the first time or whatever. And like, so polygyny is different and polygamy is different. Polygyny is the main body. And in that you will have polygyny, you have polyamory, polygamy as well. Yeah, like, So anyway,
he's a man, it's multiple women. Then there's polyandry, which is a woman or a wife who has multiple husbands. All right. So just to clear up the terms.
Yes, I sell.
Okay.
So I practice polygyny, and that's what we discuss, and that's what my wives and I do here on this channel. Now, first reason, it's not only just something inside you as a man, but there's something about your masculinity that wants to be more. You want to be a champion. You want to grow. You want to conquer. You want to expand. You want to be more. You're really legacy minded and focused. That tends to be the number one reason for many brothers. They're like, listen, life is good. Things are well. My wife is good. We have a great relationship on many different levels.
I think that's one thing that sisters will not understand about a man. Yeah. There's one thing that she will not understand, that men want more. They want more. I think there is Allah mentions in the Quran that Bani Adam, never be satisfied. You give him one and he'll want a million, kind of thing. So men want more. Want more children, want more activity, want more wives, want more. So one is not enough for them. And that is something that is normal. That's the way Allah created man. So, obviously, it's not going to be satisfying for him just to have one, basically. Yeah. Men want more of everything.
It's not about her. She may think.
For example, a man who's got a car. He's got one car, and if he's got the money, he'll go and buy another car. Yeah. You might think, oh, this one's just a normal car. I want to get a sports car. Now, after he gets a sports car, he thinks, oh, okay, fine. This one is nice. I've got the money, but I want to buy, just say a Jeep or something. A Land Cruiser or a Jeep that all terrain or whatever. So he's never want to stick to one. I mean, I'm telling you personally, it's me as well. If I can afford several cars, I would have bought a sports car. I'd love a sports car. I'd like to drive a sports car. I've got a car at the moment, and I'm a family car. But if I had the chance of getting a sports car, I'd get one for myself. Every man is like that. So man has got that quality in him, that is inert in him, that he wants more. Okay, so I just need them. Just to send a message to somebody. Just 1 second. Somebody's contacted me about something. There's a book I was supposed to go and pick up, but I got into a conversation and forgot about it completely. Let me just answer him back. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, so I had to send a message back to to this person. There are some books that somebody's giving away, and I told him I was going to come and pick up today, but unfortunately I got into something and completely lost my thought and forgot about it, although it's a weekend. Anyway, yeah, so it's a very good point that has been raised here, and let's carry on.
Or feel it's about her, so they express their concerns to me. Now, listen closely to what I'm telling you. Because men, myself included, have experienced and do experience from time to time that we don't feel heard. Yeah, that's an emotional thing. It's traditionally assigned to women. Yeah, but guess what? Men have emotions too. We express, we emote, we do things differently. But a man showing concern about his wife's feeling of thinking something will be wrong with her or something she's doing and not doing in their relationship, in their marriage, is a sign and show of love and concern and care for her. But there's still something in him that wants to be bigger, be greater. All right. That's the number one thing. Well, not the number one reason, but that is a reason. One is a man saying, listen, I'm done. I've done this. I've accomplished this. I've grown in this area. I'm providing well. I'm doing all of these things. And I have this.
Mike is yeah, there is I keep doing this. Yeah, there is something that they call the midlife crisis. For those of you who've heard it, yeah, I don't know if people have heard it or not, but it's called the midlife crisis. The midlife crisis is when a man gets to a certain age, usually it's 40 or above, he wants to do things that he hasn't done before, so he didn't get the chance of, like, after college he started working, and after started working he got married, had children, raised children. He couldn't do a lot of things at that time, so he wants to so he wanted to he wants to do them now. He wants to do to do them. So what's happened among that? I'd love to drive a car. I'd like to travel. I'd like to, and a lot of men would desire more women after that as well. And I've spoken to somebody, and he told me about that. He said once you get over 40, you want more women, and that is true. You get over 40 now, you've succeeded, you've reached a point where you have, like, you've studied, you've got your family, your kids have gone to school, and you have the money, you have the car, and you feel that now, like, I want more wives now. There's nothing wrong with that. And again, like I said, sisters will not understand that.
This desire within me for more, not simply just more intimacy, but more as a man, being more than twice the man, whether that is 2 wives or 3 wives or 4 wives, or building 4 households, being able to manage them all, being able to do a great job, being able to be legacy focused. Okay? That's one reason. Has nothing to do with you as a woman. Don't matter how much you do all around the board. Don't matter how good your love languages are and your communication are. That feeling is still inside.
Usually we say when men get together, we don't talk politics, do we? Yeah, we don't talk politics. We talk about women. We talk about taking our wives. It happens every single day. With you go out with a group of friends of yours, and, like, you've reached a certain age or whatever. You go out to with the boys. What comes into the conversation? Get married again. Get married again. Taking another wife or whatever. It's something that is normal in men's circle. Yeah, whether they will be able to do it or not, whether they can, a lot of men say that, like, women are headache and stuff like that, like, whether they think that way, but that conversation always takes place, and especially when men meet together. So it's not something that is strange, and it's not something that sisters would understand anyway.
That feeling, that desire is still inside. She, again, can be the greatest person that you've ever come across, but that feeling is still there. Right, bro?
Okay, so, right. Okay, let's okay, just while you're watching this,
and I know, what about this? And what about that? Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. It's hilarious to me, the way that people measure things, right? And power couples and all this type of stuff. Well,
right, very interesting.
It's kind of hard to
very
name a power.
Point. When we look at these people who okay, yeah. When you look at these people who like to have their movie star images or whatever, like, footballer images or whatever, these people now, when they look at them, these people have got success. They've got everything. It's not just I'm a footballer and that's it. Nothing else. No, they've got the cars, they've got the football, they've got the life. Yeah, I'm not promoting dunya. I'm not saying that, like, you have to promote the dunya or whatever. This is the man. This is the way the man is. Except that these people, you will see them falling into affairs. You will see them falling into extramarital affairs rather than going into polygyny. Yeah, but man wants more. He's now a professional footballer. He wants to now, like, have a big car. He wants now to have a big house. He wants to have a family. He wants to, like, so man wants more, and this is what he's talking about. Okay.
A couple that hasn't had their challenges, and not just challenges, but actually dealing with infidelity. Many times by the men, sometimes by the women as well. So one, for example, led to a few different albums of 444 and Lemonade and all that stuff, was Jay-Z and Beyonce. I mean, she bought this man, I think it was a $20 million jet for one of his birthdays several years ago. So not only she...
Right. That's very interesting as well, yeah? So even the stars, the mega stars, yeah, she even bought him a jet and he still cheated on her, So you see that life, that personal life that they have. Somebody buys you a jet, your wife buys you a jet, and you cheat on her, So it's never enough. It's never enough when it comes to women and everything. It's never enough. So he's taking the example of Jay-Z there now, like, and Beyonce, which are who are, like, people in the limelight and everything. And I don't live my life according to them. But we're talking about the people who follow them and everything. Yeah, we're talking about the people who follow them and whatever. But anyway, so let's continue.
Wealthy, and people rate her a 10 when it comes to beauty and so on and so forth. But he cheated on her. Beyonce. So let me ask you a question. If this person is held in such esteem in society when it comes to beauty and wealth and all this stuff and yada, 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 and gets cheated on, yeah, what's going on there? Or was just something that she just wasn't fulfilling? I don't know necessarily the reasons. We heard different things so far through the media and everything else, but I just want to put your point to that there's something still within a man who has what society, by all, metrics that society measures by, minus the spiritual, because they don't generally measure by that. They don't think that's real for whatever reason, still got cheated on. Or about, got the Wills and Jadas, right? Sadly, they were even put in songs. I think it was a Alicia Keys song. I forget the song. It was Alicia Keys. But she's talking about, with Will and Jada. Or she talked about Bill and Camille in the song. Okay? So Bill Cosby, the same one, on multiple affairs. right? Whether you're talking about these two families or other political figures, you got your Reverend Jesse Jackson, you got your President Bill Clinton.
You see, he's giving the example now with so many people, yeah, who have everything. They have everything, and they are the example that people take. They are the example that people follow and stuff like that. Yet they don't have enough. Yeah, they will still go in and have affairs. Now we're trying to promote the halal side of it. We're trying to promote the polygyny. You know, not the haram side of it. We're trying to promote the halal side of it, which is obviously polygyny. But he's showing how these people, although they have everything, they've got jets, they've got cars, they've got house, they've got wife, they've got everything, yet they will cheat. Yeah. So us, rather than cheat, why not take another wife?
And I'm just talking about from that area. However, we live in a society that downplays the honor of women. So seeing extra women as wives that will raise them up in honor is a problem.
All right, 1 second, please. Okay, 1 second. Yeah. So anyway, sorry, so the person's contacting me again.
But for men who have the trappings of society, if you will, that still hasn't gotten rid of their desire for women. As you can see, just by these notable people who are all wealthy, famous, you know, considered financially successful, and so on and so forth. So one is there's a desire to be great on a whole nother level.
Can storyteller tactics help with something as simple as selling a banana? The answer.
Okay, so we got him about
not to be great as that one orange guy was talking about. Okay, and look at his whole situation. But really, to be great, to be more, and to do it in a noble and honorable fashion requires that you honor women. In doing such, requires marriage. That same title is wife. And we're going to get into even what Malcolm shares on what he learned about women and so on in his autobiography of Malcolm X. So don't miss that video. But that's one of the first reasons. The next reason is man wants and desires variety. Desires variety. I know you said, oh, women desire variety and all that stuff too. Men and women are not the same.
Right. That's another thing as well. Men desire variety. I mean, like, you know, he might like, he might have in his heart, like, you know, like I mentioned to you one time, I think a couple of lessons ago or whatever, we mentioned, I had a friend of mine, a personal friend of mine when I was in London. And when he was in secondary school, in college, sorry, when he was in college, he got to know an English woman, girl, yeah. And he was in love with that English girl, and he wanted to marry her. Okay, his parents said no. His parents were not did not agree. So they wanted him to marry from his culture. They wanted him to marry from the Pakistani culture. So he got married to Pakistani culture. But he still had that desire for that English sister. You know, he still had that desire for her because he wanted variety. So what happens now is that, like, you know, he got married with his wife, and after a while, he got married to the English sister as well. So men want variety. That's another thing that the brother explains. Again, I'd like to remind you that you're watching Our People of the Book, and we're going out on Our People of the Book channel, and we're going out on Consider This TV as well. And we're actually going through one brother who's very good. He's a coach. And I've admired his way of like, you know, putting the message across. This is why we're kind of using his video. all this is educational, you know that, but like, I'm trying to help my brothers and sisters, like, understand polygyny. And he's giving the reasons why men want multiple wives. And his channel, like I mentioned his channel earlier on. So if you go and you subscribe and like on his channel, Outstanding Personal Relationships, give him a subscribe. I already subscribed to him. How is it showing? Okay. Okay, subscribe. Okay, Outstanding personal relationships. Give him a subscribe, give him a like, and share. And our channel as well. Give us a like, give us a subscribe and share, because every week we're coming out with different issues. Different resources and everything, and obviously, like, the algorithms and everything. So more of this will be shown on your, if you're interested in this, then more of it will come to you. So anyway, let's go back to the brother Nadir. Alhamdulillah, very good work he's doing, and shout out to him. Alhamdulillah.
Man wants variety. I know some brothers that listen. I like women. I like them different complexions.
Okay, just to stop him there. The two things that the Prophet ﷺ mentioned in that he liked was atar, perfumes, and women. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is the way Allah created him, So Allah made him have that desire for women in him, and the desire for perfume. So obviously he would wear perfume. And just give me 1 second, please. Okay. Yeah, it seems to be a very busy day for me today. I'm very sorry. Like I said, my daughter gave birth, so there are things like, and also I was supposed to go and pick up some books and everything, and like, I didn't go, so there's a lot of things happening. So anyway, I do apologize for that. And 1 second. Okay, so let's go back to the brother and see.
Different heights, different backgrounds, different cultures. And
Yeah,
if I have the
I was saying about the Prophet ﷺ, and when before my phone rang. So there's nothing wrong about that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created man like this, and if man has desire in him for women, for more women, then this is the way we are created. Our Prophet ﷺ, he liked women. So I'm not talking about lusting for women the way the non-Muslims like to put it, that your prophet lusted for women and stuff like that. No, he's normal. He's a man, and he has desire for women.
The ability to provide for and be with and have children with and whatnot, then I would like to do that. There's that desire, but it comes again with responsibility and the nobility of marriage. Again, has nothing to do with how beautiful you are. There's approximately 7 billion people, more than 7 billion on the planet. We're about half and half. All right. There's a slight worldwide, there's a slight percentage, like maybe 0.5% more men than women worldwide. However, in the country I'm in, from the United States, there are many more women than men. So there are millions of more women than men. In some states, as much as 4 to 5 to 1, or even like in Georgia or Atlanta, for example, even almost 20 to 1.
Okay.
So
there is one thing that we have to bear in mind, that also men may have like, desire for a special, although he's got married to his wife, yeah. But like, as time goes by now, he might find certain other women attractive, You know, he might find certain other women, certain complexion, certain type of hair or whatever, you know, and he's not going to do zina. He's not going to kind of like, you know, start looking at other women and like, you know, start chatting up other women because they got that complexion or whatever, like, you know. So if he does have a desire for them, then like, you know, he would get another, you know, another spouse from there. Okay, so I'd like to remind you again that you're watching People of the Book, and we're broadcasting on Consider This TV, and we're broadcasting on our channel, and our Saturday usual from polygyny to from monogamy to polygyny, and we're going through brother Coach Nadir. He's very good coach, and I seem to kind of like, you know, like his work, so that's why I'm using his stuff to help our brothers anyway. So yeah, so he's going on some very good points, so let's carry on.
The numbers get crazy when you're dealing with different backgrounds. Nevertheless, variety. We like different people. We have different preferences. Just like we know women have different preferences. Those can change and what not all the time. But that's another reason. Go to another one. Wanting more children. Men do not have the same biological clock as women. Now, we already know this. I'm saying. And if you ask me, hey, do you want to have 10 children? I'm at right now. I have 2 children, 3 children. 4 is looked at as a lot in this society. So that
right. Don't get this wrong now. Even men who are grandfathers still have the desire to have more children. Yeah. The fact that Allah has given us the possibility as men to procreate, you know, at a certain age, even at like, you know, old age. Allah has given us that possibility. Whereas a woman at a certain age, she cannot give children anymore. Okay. So a man might want to increase his family. His children are grown older, and like, you know, now he's like, you know, thinking, oh, like, you know, I miss the days when I had my children. I miss the days when I had my children. You know, I had my I miss the days when I used to feed them. I used to bath them and everything. I miss those days. So it may be that a man, like, you know, he wants to have more children because of the fact that he misses the days of being a father again. Yeah? Children have grown up and they've gone off their own way. They have their own children. They are busy or whatever, and the father, every time he looks at their children, he thinks, oh, like, you know, I remember the days when you guys were this, you guys were that, like, you know, I used to feed you, I used to change you. So it could be because of that as well, and also to increase the ummah. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. So no matter what age a man is, he can procreate, whereas a woman can't. So like we said from the beginning, to explain that to a woman now, like, you know, it's difficult for her to understand it. Yeah, but we as men, we know how we feel, basically.
Certain ethnicities aren't reproducing enough to keep themselves around for much longer. So in just a couple decades, for example, white people in the United States, and we know the whole history of the country, will become a minority. Yay.
You know, there are populations that are like, you know, one child policy or whatever, like, you know. So once this child is grown up and follows the same one child policy again, and once the old people die, then, like, you know, what's going to happen? The population is going to decrease. And like I mentioned, I think a couple of weeks ago, that one thing that I'm noticing is in the Afro-American population, they seem to be gearing more towards polygyny. Yeah, they seem to be gearing more towards polygyny. So this is a good thing. Yeah, because then obviously, if you get the population decreasing from that side, then you'll get the population replacing it from the other side, and also they'll be Muslim. Yeah, if they're Muslim, and if they're just Muslim, because you have also the Afro-American population who are Israelites or whatever, and they too promote polygyny. So, like, you know, but still, like, you know, it's something that, like, you know, we need to sit down and think about the decrease in population, and yet, like, you know, you have a certain demographic. You have a certain demographic, certain type of people who are increasing the children. So anyway, let's carry on.
With that being said, they want more children. You want to have 5, 10, 15 children? Are you limited to having a certain amount of children in your lifetime? How many children can you have per year? Now, how many?
Oops. Again.
Hi. My name is Professor David Costa.
Just because it's
Can a man
irritating.
have? How many women can he impregnate? So our biological clocks are different. If I want to have 10, 15 children, to put a woman through that every single time a woman has a child, her body gets broken down and a lot of different things happen to her. I mean, the reward and blessings for every single pain during pregnancy is immense. But I know brothers that's, listen, I want to build a tribe. I want to have 20 children.
The brother said he wants to build a tribe. Can you imagine, like, you know, you have your own, what's the name? You're the head of the lot, and you have like 20 children below you. They have children as well. They're maybe polygamous as well as they get older. It does become like a tribe, basically, like, you know, and that name, that family name there, it, you know, carries on kind of thing. You know, there are a lot of factors. There are a lot of factors that maybe sisters won't understand, but this is the way it is. Like, you know, and anyway, let's get back to the brother. Very good video. I really appreciated that today when I watched it.
To have that in a noble fashion, to have that where these children are not bastards. Yes, that's the technical term, bastard, meaning that the child is born out of wedlock. To have it nobly requires marriage. That's polygyny. To be responsible for your pleasures has nothing.
Okay, exactly. Now, there's one thing that we have to realize here. A lot of times, people think it's only sex. Only because of sex that we want them other wives. Now, a lot of people are having sex outside of marriage, even Muslims. Yeah. They're not needing to get married to have sex. Yeah. They want sex. Nowadays, it's just basically, like, you know, it becomes like a free for all basically today. Yeah. I mean, then in the non-Muslim in environments, I mean, you're even in the churches. They're like, you know, courting in the churches, the pastors and everything. So there's no barrier to it. So we cannot say that only because of sex, because that can come outside of marriage as well. So, like, you know, there are other reasons why.
Nothing to do with who he's currently married to. You want to have 20 children and not be married at all. But does a woman want to go through 20 childbirths? Is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. But is that something that a woman even desire these days? Not just is it easy or feasible, but you hit a certain age, geriatric pregnancy.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, you know, we can't burden a woman that much as well. I mean, how many children is a woman gonna have? Every year of her life, she's gonna have children. If she gets married at 20, let's just say 20. Okay, she gets married at 20, and then now every year when you get the pregnancy, the child, you know, every year she has a child. By the time she's 40 or whatever, she'll have 20 children. It's going to be a big burden on her, isn't it? You know, to raise 20 children, to like, you know, give birth to them. Some of them may cause burden on her. Some of them may be easy pregnancy. Some of them may be light pregnancy. So some of them may be very, very difficult for her. You know, so that one woman itself, if a man wants to increase his family, it's difficult. You know, so we can't burden the wife that much. And it's a very good point that the brother raises here.
High risk. Just saying.
Of course, another thing as well that's very important here. When a woman reaches a certain age, she's known as high risk pregnancy. Okay, when she reaches them, I think in her late 30s or whatever, going on to 40s or whatever, she's high risk pregnancy, geriatric pregnancy. So now, if a man is married to one wife and his wife has reached the late 30s, entering into the 40s or whatever, and like, you know, she's a high risk pregnancy, that you know, he could lose his children, she can miscarry, or she could injure her own life. She can end up there losing her own life because of that. Yeah. So these reasons. You know, they're very good reasons why a man would want to marry him again.
There's the understanding that men need to feel, or men want to feel needed, where women need to feel wanted. I'm going to be sharing with you with this series the emotional complexities of men and why they desire to be married to more than one woman. The things I just mentioned are pretty much the common areas that have nothing to do with the woman that they're married to, whether they are gorgeous, they're great cooks, they do all the things that they like to do intimately and so on and so forth, and connect with them mentally and everything else. Those reasons I just shared with you are absolutely still in play, no matter how good of a wife or a woman you are. It is not your fault that a man desires more. But these are some common reasons, and I can vouch for them. All right, one of those is my reason. I want to become more. So if you want to see that video, no problem. Go ahead, feel free. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel to get the updates, or better yet, get on our email list at outstandingpersonalrelationships.com.
Right. Okay. So again, like, let's plug this for this brother. He's got a website as well called outstandingpersonalrelationships.com. Same thing as with the with the YouTube channel. So go there and maybe you will learn from him, because I'm learning a lot from the brother itself. Yeah, I'm learning a lot from him. He's already in that situation, and his wives are coaches as well. So he knows what he's talking about, and alhamdulillah, we learn from each other. And like I said, I'm not a scholar. I'm a student of knowledge, and I'm using that knowledge that I have in order to help my brothers and sisters, who want to know more about polygyny and whatever. We're at the 51-minute mark now, and soon he will finish. So when he finishes, we'll go back to the book again. But there's one other book that I'd like to mention before that is very interesting, but it's very disgusting. But the chapter, the topic of it is very disgusting. But it's written by I'm sure it's written by a feminist, a hater of men. But I'd just like to mention that. So anyway, let's go back to the brother.
They connected with what we have going on, and look for this series. Any questions, comments below? Make sure you do that. Matter of fact, I'm going to ask you to put underneath this video, not my fault. If you're a woman, put not my fault, meaning that it's not your fault. Your husband may want to marry someone else. If you're a man and any of these resonated with you, or these are your reasons, put which one down. What is it? Is it that you desire to become more? Is it that you want more children? Is that you want more variety? What is it? Let us know in the comments below. Any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to reach out to me. With that being said, I'm Coach Nadir. I help people get their shift together. So I look forward to seeing you getting your shift together and making it happen. Remember, be outstanding. Assalamu alaikum.
Right. Again, so shout out to the brother, and go to his channel and subscribe, like, and share. He does some very good work, and you can see for yourself that he's he's given us some very good material here that we can work with. So alhamdulillah, brother Coach Nadir, and maybe in the next weeks as well, I'll be referring to some of his work as I watch more of his stuff. Anyway, yeah. So let's finish with him. Okay. That's okay. So let's get back now. Yeah, like I mentioned, there is a book that is out. I didn't know about this book until suddenly it just came on my Facebook while I was flicking or whatever. The mention of the book came, so I went and I went through the details that was sent to me, and I wouldn't like to mention the actual name of the book. But the thing is, it is very okay. The book is actually, it mentions the name of part of the anatomy of a woman. Okay, now the writer tells women that men are nothing. Okay, that's how disgusting it is now. Men are nothing. All they want is sex. Okay, that's all men want. Yeah, and use that part of your anatomy to lure the man, but don't give him what he wants, kind of thing. It's a disgusting book basically when you read it, because obviously this woman is a hater of men, and she's teaching other women as well to kind of to do this kind of thing. So it's very disgusting. So I thought, since I read it, I must mention that, because these things are out there. You have sisters, our sisters, who are falling into that trap, who are using their body, weaponizing weaponizing sex against their husband, after they've maybe read something like that, or other sisters have read, and in their congregation amongst them, when they meet, hey, guess what, I read this such and such book and whatever, and this is what, not all sisters are on the right on the right manage, basically, and you have some sisters who will corrupt other sisters more. You have these sisters who are single and not happy that that their friends are married or whatever, and they could end up corrupting them. Yeah. So what happens is that you have people who write books like this, which is very disgusting, basically, because it puts down the man. Puts down the man badly, and it tells the women to use that part of their anatomy to kind of lure men, okay, and don't give him what he wants. 1 second, let me look for that chapter, and okay. Yeah, it says in there, men need us, we don't need them. Okay. That's how bad it is now. Yeah, she's saying to her audience that men need us, we don't need them. Okay, and it says there, the power of what she's talking about is powerless without the desperate need for for a man. Man needs sex. Yeah? They think about it all the time. They crave sex the way we crave sweets. That's why they'll do all the kind of stupid things to get it. See, so it puts a man down here now, so we don't need men, they need us, and we use that part of our body to make the man think. Okay, it says here their need for sex is a great weakness. Combine that weakness with your part of your body, and you are now armed with the greatest weapon. Don't feel bad about it. They prey on our emotions, so we are going to prey on their needs for sex. You see, so you see what's out there at the moment. Yeah, and not at the moment. I mean, in the present time, and maybe you have some of our Muslim sisters who are falling into that as well, because once you fall into this feminist ideology, this is the type of thing that you think of now. We don't need men; they need us. They need us. Without us, they can't do anything. See, we don't necessarily need to have sex. Surely we love sex too, and we want to have a good time, but let's be honest, it's not a desperate need for us like it is for them. Think I'm wrong? How often do you see women paying male hookers for sex? Never. Okay, so you see this type of ideology that has been spread around in the Western society, and a lot of our sisters are falling into that as well. Did you know that a man needs to ejaculate? We're getting a bit adult here now, so I know my audience is mainly adults, and I didn't warn you from the beginning about this. I should have warned you that there's some things that we're going to touch that are more adult. So if there are children around, I'd rather that you get them out of here. But obviously what we're talking is about adult. Did you know that a man that if a man doesn't ejaculate, then he will eventually start to feel a mental buildup from not having sex. So they know that. So she's propagating that, because of that, then hold back. Hold back and you weaponize it. It has to get out. He may jack off, haram obviously, and that will suffice for a while, but eventually he's going to need to he's got an intense need to have sex. Meanwhile, we could avoid sex for months, and it wouldn't bother us nearly as much. This is our advantage. Anyway, I'm not going to go any more with this book. It's just just wanted to let you know what is out there and what these ladies are like. Some of these ladies, what they're propagating out there. And so obviously you will find a lot of ladies who are going to refuse marriage, who are going to refuse to get into polygyny and stuff like that, thinking that they don't need men need them. I would like you to kind of like, every now and again drop a comment or whatever, because I don't see much commenting on my shows. I know it's an educational show, but like, we do have brothers and sisters who come in and give salam and everything. Like, if you want to comment a bit, and like, we're at the 101 mark, and I did say I'm going to finish a bit early today. I need to rush up. I got somebody to save some books for me, and I forgot it completely, and they keep calling me or whatever. Anyway, so that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So if you're talking about marriage itself, these feminist women don't even think that they need men, that we need them, let alone the first marriage. Yeah? Polygamy now, they wouldn't enter into polygamy at all. Polygyny, sorry, I hate that word polygamy, but polygyny. They wouldn't enter into polygyny at all because they think that they don't need us, and we need them, basically. Yeah. So this is the frame of mind that is going around. Anyway, so let's get back to the book that we're supposed to be doing. We reached page 108 of From Monogamy to Polygyny, a way through, and we'd reached getting rid of jealousy. This is the what's the name, the title that we're going to tackle today. We'll probably do another 15-20 minutes of it, and then like I said, I'll have to finish early. Yet again, because this is educational, you need to have time to I can't just do shorts like this and teach you this like in shorts. You have to sit down and question and like listen to what I'm saying, maybe go back to it and like listen again, because if you're learning about polygyny, you may be in polygyny, you may not be in polygyny, you're learning about polygyny. So I cannot do this in like half 20 minutes, 15 minutes. I have to give you resources. I have to go through books like that book that I mentioned earlier on, like the brother his podcast and everything. So you've got a lot to this is like a class itself. You're doing a class on polygyny. Yeah. So for you who've gone through my whole series from the beginning, this is class 14 now. Yeah. So from I hope, inshallah, that you have benefited something, because every week I'm coming with something new. And like I said, if you want to drop a little comment every now and again, even if not live, even when you come into you come into the channel and you've watched it after 2 days, 3 days, if you drop a little a little salam or a little comment, at least I want to get in interaction, because sometimes I think I'm talking to myself, although I can see I have people watching, but for me it doesn't matter, because I'm doing this for Allah. I'm not doing it for myself. I'm not doing it for likes. If I was doing it for likes, then I would have used other methods. But I'm like, I'm not doing it for likes. I'm trying to help my brothers and sisters. Yeah, those who want to get into polygyny, those who have doubts about polygyny. They've probably heard people talk. They've heard people go through bad, experiences or whatever. So I'm here to help out my brothers and sisters to clear the fog that is there. Yeah. clear the water. Okay, so we've reached the point now of getting rid of jealousy. We spoke about that before. We spoke of the whole thing before when we went into female psychology. We talked about the Sahabiya, how they controlled jealousy and everything. Now, although it's in male psychology, we're touching on jealousy, and this book is written by two sisters, so she's coming from a sister's point of view. Because of a woman's jealousy, because a woman's jealousy can often have negative consequences, it becomes something that is often preferred to be without. The question then arises: is it possible to get rid of jealousy? Okay, a lot of sisters think, and even men, think that, yeah, obviously it is normal to have jealousy. It's normal that a sister is jealous. I mentioned earlier on that Allah created us differently, and Allah created them differently, created the sisters differently. If you want to now sit down and try and match us like we're equal or 100% equal, no. Our jealousy is a totally different jealousy. Our jealousy will be a protective jealousy, jealousy that will protect our wives, our children, our daughters or whatever, the way they dress, the way they talk, the way they interact with men. This is protection, protective jealousy. But the jealousy that is in our sisters comes from the issue of now the man being with her husband. It doesn't matter whether that woman doesn't have a husband. That woman is a widow. That woman is a divorcee. She doesn't have a job. She doesn't have any money, and your husband is taken her and looking out. It doesn't matter. That jealousy will come from the side of the sisters. Yeah. So it's asking the question here: is it possible to get rid of jealousy? Okay. So the first point is, first, a distinction has to be made between a jealous nature and a jealous temperament. The nature is the person's intrinsic characteristics and qualities. However, the temperament is a person's manner of thinking, behaving, and reacting. Okay, I hope this is clear. There's a difference there between the nature, the jealous nature, and the temperament. Okay, and we're going to see, what them, how to control them, and whatever. Anyway, okay, we're at the 17 point. Please like, subscribe, and share. Yeah. I'm sure that other people who will benefit from this as well. And if you have friends and family or whatever who are in polygamous situations, or who are thinking of getting into it, like I keep mentioning, we are in a crisis at the moment. We are in a crisis, and there is an urgent need for polygyny. Yeah, we have our sisters who are divorced, our sisters who are widowed, and what to do with them? So polygamy is a way through. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created that. Not just polygamy. They can get normal men to marry as well. Yeah, they can get them, unmarried men. But the thing is, it's very difficult because of the pool that they're their age, the pool that they're going through. A lot of men wouldn't marry them. Single men would not marry sisters who are married. Children come in and everything. So all that, polygyny is the right situation, the right condition, the right way for our sisters. So again, let's go back to the jealousy. I keep backtracking because there's a lot of things that need to be explained, and alhamdulillah, with my knowledge, I am able to tackle these situations. Anyway, okay, so a person can have a jealous nature, but not necessarily have a jealous temperament. You see that now, yeah. Oh, okay. Women are naturally jealous, as this is the way Allah has created us. She says us because it's a woman who wrote the book. Two sisters, anyway. Yeah. So we know that. I keep mentioning that several times, that men are created differently and women are created differently. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us differently, and women, jealousy is inert in them. Yeah, so it's not something that they can, like, just straight away, just like, get rid of or whatever. Women are naturally jealous. So this is, as this is the way Allah's created us. So the jealous nature of a woman is not something that can be eliminated. As Sheikh bin Uthaymeen said, a woman's jealousy concerning her husband is something that is innate and natural, and you cannot tell a woman, do not feel jealous over your husband. Okay, you cannot tell a woman that. She will have that jealousy. Yeah, but then when we went through the past lessons and everything, it mentioned how to control that jealousy, how to not make that become something bad where you're going to fight, you're going to divorce, you're going to break a family or whatever, because this is something that is inert in you, in the sister. She cannot do anything about it. Now you're going to take something that is inert in you, and then use that now to break up the family, to fight with your husband or whatever. Whereas Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised, I keep mentioning that every time, by the woman only being patient, she gets much more rewards than the man on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah. There is a hadith which mentions, again, I will paraphrase it because I don't know it by heart. I need to kind of like, copy them, and then, like, I can paste them and you can get them. There is a hadith that says that if a sister is patient when a husband takes another wife, it is the same, she gets the same reward as this mujahid who is in the battlefield and the sword is coming over his head. The sword is coming over his head. That reward that he's getting, that I'm about to die, or if I don't protect myself, if Allah doesn't save me, I'm about to die. That reward that he's getting for that, a sister just sitting in her house and accepting polygyny gets that reward. Can you imagine now? So how much Allah has favored the sister, that she doesn't have to go through what the man is going through, right? That's one thing. Secondly, that man now going through that, he's protecting the community. He's protecting that same sister who supposedly has the jealousy and, like, is asked to be patient or whatever. Yeah. I hope I'm making it clear. I hope I'm not confusing you or whatever. But, like, like I said, I'm not a scholar, and I'm here just to help my brothers and sisters understand things. But the jealousy is innate in a woman, and you cannot get rid of that. A jealous temperament, on the other side, includes the outbursts of rage, the hatred, the resentment for another individual, and the unnatural aspects of jealousy, which clouds the mind to the point where the person becomes overly obsessed with someone. Okay, it happens that when a man takes another wife, it could happen from both sides as well. It could happen that sister who's come into the family, who's new in the family, is highly jealous of the first wife. Maybe she's more beautiful than her. Maybe she's like, she has qualities better. So that one gets, outraged and angry, and she, doesn't respect her or whatever. Or it could be from the other side as well, where the man a man brings a new wife home, and that one now, although the jealousy is innate in her, she cannot stand it now. She will pick up the phone and shout and fight and, make an act kind of thing, which really. And when we looked at the previous chapters, we found that this part can be controlled. This part can be controlled. She has to turn back to Allah, and there are plenty of ways that it showed that this part can be controlled. A woman doesn't have to do this. A woman doesn't have to go into outbursts of rage, which may last only temporary. It may be only temporary rage, and then afterwards she found, well, why did I do this for? I shouldn't have done like this. And she regrets it afterwards. Okay, so this is more like the aspect of jealousy which clouds the mind, where the person becomes overly obsessed with someone. This jealous temperament is something that can be eliminated. In the hadith of Salama, she told the Prophet she told the Prophet that she was jealous. She was a jealous woman, and that he made du'a for her to take away her jealousy. This jealousy that was sought to be rid of was not natural jealousy that all women have, but rather the jealousy of temperament. Okay, so Prophet ﷺ raised his hands and make dua that Allah take away that jealousy, the jealousy of rage, the jealousy of anger, the jealousy of whatever, resentment, stuff like that. Allah can take that away, but the natural, what is in the hearts of the sister cannot be taken away. Just like love in polygyny, the Prophet ﷺ made dua to Allah that forgive me for the things that I cannot control. Yeah. For the things that he can control in polygyny, his time, his money, his whatever, yeah, that he can control between the wives, the making equal, giving them equal. Fine, no, he can control that. But what Allah has put in his heart, if Allah has put in his heart a little favor for this wife because of certain thing, like the Prophet ﷺ always favored Aisha radiallahu anha. Yeah. And he had this little inkling more for her, so he made dua to Allah not to kind of take him to task over that, because it was not in his in his power to do anything about it. That is the same as the first jealousy that we mentioned. The sister doesn't have a way to get rid of that jealousy, but the jealousy of temperament, then the Prophet ﷺ made dua that she gets that Allah gets rid of it from Salma, and I'm sure that it happened. Therefore, the jealous temperament is definitely something that can be eliminated by sincere dua and striving to rid oneself of that characteristics. Indeed, Allah has created the means of getting results. For instance, the Prophet ﷺ says, whoever seeks to be patient, Allah will give him patience. Now, that woman who wakes up for tahajjud, that woman who wakes up for fajr, that woman who's always in constant dhikr of Allah, then that will help her to take away that type of jealousy. Instead of thinking, she's sitting and not doing anything, and shaitan kind of takes over the mind or whatever, pick up the phone and have a go at that sister, this type of thing. No, when she's in dhikr, when she's in tahajjud at night, she's making dua to Allah. Ya Allah, I have a weakness. I have a real weakness, and that weakness is jealousy. Please take that away from me. Don't let that destroy my love with my husband. Don't let that destroy my family. So that is the jealousy that you can get rid of. Yeah. So I hope I'm being clear, and I hope you're being able to benefit from there. Now, this is on page 109, and we're going to go further a little bit, and then maybe finish in 15 minutes. So I'll finish at the 1:30 marker as I usually do. Anyway, so by paying attention to Allah's laws, one can acquire good characteristics and avoid the bad ones. Striving hard and calling on Allah can produce great results. And Allah says in the Quran, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and when my slaves ask you concerning me, then I'm indeed near to them by my knowledge. Okay? Allah doesn't mean that He's near to us, physically near to us or whatever, some religions might think. Okay, by my knowledge, I respond to the invocations of the supplicant when he calls on me. So let them obey me and believe in me, so that they may be led aright. Okay, so this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying in the Quran, in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 186. Okay, that and when my slaves ask concerning me, let them know that by my knowledge, indeed, I'm near to them. Yeah, and I respond to their supplications. So whenever you make dua, Allah responds to your supplications. So rather than like taking the jealousy side, rather than taking the side like which is going to cause you distress, if for those of you who haven't watched the earlier parts, I'd advise you to if you have time, go through the other parts as well, and you will understand a bit more what we're talking about, because in the other parts it mentions about the controlling the jealousy and stuff like that, and the Sahabiya, how they controlled their jealousy. So you'll understand it a bit more. Okay. Interaction of emotions, another subtitle. When one recognizes a problem, it can be fixed. Likewise, when one recognizes their emotions, they can then deal with them appropriately, looking deeper into the jealousy of a woman. We can see how a range of different emotions are actually at work. In fact, the psychologist Dr. Carol Tavris puts it, our emotions, is talking of the woman's emotion here, yeah, are not especially distinctive. They tend to come in bunches like grapes, and it is rare to find a single emotion causing trouble on its own. So you've got a load of emotions there, and this is from a book from the book called Anger: The Misunderstood Emotion by Carol Travis. Okay, this is the and I hope, if you can buy if you're interested in buying the book, or research it or whatever, and it's good to have knowledge. It's good to have knowledge, and usually when I hear something, when I hear a quote like this, now I will go and look for it. I'll type the name of the book, and I will type the name of the author, and see for myself at the same time. It's not that I don't trust the writer, but at the same time, there may be something else that I might benefit from it. There might be something else that I might benefit from. So I always check references and everything when references are given. Okay, so it mentions here that it's not one emotion, but a bunch of emotions. It's not that emotion coming on by itself. Jealousy has its roots in love. Without love, there would not be anything to be jealous about. Even the man. If the man didn't love his wife, he'd be a dayuth then. Let his wife dress how she wants, walks on the street how she wants, all other men looking at her or whatever. That's not true love, is it? When you love something, you really cherish it, and you have to make sure that you look after it, you protect it. Yeah, it's not called control, like a lot of sisters might turn around and say, "Oh, he's controlling" or whatever. No, this is protection. Protection that, a man has the right to be protective over his wife, because he's the one that's given that extra responsibility, that awam that he's been given, that extra responsibility to look after her, to protect her, to provide for her, or whatever. So he has that right to be now protective. Yeah. And that protection, that being protective, may seem as if he's controlling or whatever, but no, that's his right as well. Okay, so and as it mentions here, without love, there would not be anything to be jealous of. One of the scholars, she doesn't mention his name, but it mentions in the footnotes anyway. One of the scholars. One of the scholars said, love is the heart following the will of its master, loving what he loves and hating what he hates. Okay? Now, if you're loving what Allah loves and hating what he hates, that's called al-wala wal-bara. Okay? Love what Allah loves and hate what he hates. Now, the same thing would apply to your husband. okay, to your what's the name, to your wife as well, yeah, that love, you would love what that person loves, and you will hate what that person hates. You know, you're not going to kind of like, your husband doesn't like something and you're going to push that onto him. No, yeah. And then another scholar has said, love is the heart's inclination to be in harmony with the beloved. So jealousy stems from the desire to keep that harmony. Thus, love is an intricate aspect of jealousy. Okay, so we're going to stop here for today. We're going to stop here. We've reached the 124 point, although it doesn't finish here. Or should we finish it and then go? Okay, we'll quickly finish the other part. Then we finish that whole subtitle. As we saw in psychology of polygyny chapter, many emotions surface with jealousy, ranging from fear and sadness to envy and anger. Any given individual may feed some of these emotions and not others, or different combination of these emotions. They are not necessarily the emotions that interact with jealousy. Others may include anxiety, apprehension, resentment, and depression. Being able to recognize these emotions that often surface with jealousy, a person becomes able to address each of them, thus aiding in their endeavor to deal with the jealousy. Like we mentioned, that part of jealousy is controllable. You can eliminate on that, and you have to work on it. Yeah. The realization that a particular emotion exists within oneself can be surprising sometimes, but that realization can be the beginning of healing. And we mentioned about healing before. We mentioned the other subjects as well, with the stages, the phases that it goes through. And we'll stop here today. Yeah, we'll stop here. Stop here. This is page 111 for those who have the book, and you can go through it, or if you don't have the book, then we'll go through it together. And like I said, I'm a student of knowledge. I'm not a scholar. If I have said something that is wrong, please forgive me. May Allah give me more knowledge. May Allah give me more time and to research, to whatever, to be able to help my brothers and sisters. And whatever good you got from there comes from Allah. And whatever, like I said, anything wrong comes from me, and may Allah forgive me, and may Allah give me more. Please remember me in your du'as. Remember me in your du'as, that Allah gives me more knowledge, and Allah makes me steadfast, and Allah gives me long life and good health, so I can continue doing these things to help my brothers and sisters. Yeah, so I hope you benefited from this, and we're gonna finish here. And next week we're gonna start with dealing with jealousy. Dealing with jealousy. How to deal with it now? The book mentions it. Before I go, if there's anybody who quickly wants to come on and give salam, and maybe whatever. I'm not a scholar, so there are certain things that I might not be able to answer. No, if I can answer it for you, I will. But if I cannot, then maybe I will search for it and find the answer for you. Yeah. So if you are if you would like to come on, let me put the link in the chat. Let me put the link in the chat, and okay, let me put this link there. I'd like to hear from some of you, what you decide, and if you are learning about polygyny, and maybe you'd just like to say a few words or whatever. It's in the what's the name now? Let me put it in the other one as well, in Consider This TV as well, and we'll see. Yeah, I'll give you a few minutes. I'm not going to kind of close down straight away, but maybe you'd just like to come on and put a question or something. If I can answer it, I'll answer it. If I can't, then we'll see. But it would be good to have your interaction as well, and it's out there. it's out there, and the link is out there. So let's see. Anyway, I hope so far you have enjoyed the series, and I'm thinking of doing a few other series after this. Inshallah, we'll see. And if you have, then yeah, before you enter, if any of you would like to join, you have to show your face on camera first. Just like, because we have a lot of people who are out there who like to come in and disrupt us. Although we're doing the work of Allah, they're not happy with it, and they put things that are inappropriate. So, like, if you come and you just show your face so that I can confirm, and then if you don't want to show your face on camera, no problem. Like, we can do with that. But, like, just give you some time to interact and whatever. And if you have enjoyed the series, if you are enjoying the series, please subscribe, like, and share. Okay, so we'll just wait for a little minute before we actually close. See if any of you clicks on that link, and see if any of you I'd like some introduction. I've been doing this for a while now, and you can see the beard is getting all grey now. Like, the efforts that I'm making, alhamdulillah. But, like, I'd like, to see if people are enjoying it, if people are benefiting from it. Like, just come in and give salam, basically. Like, So anyway, if not, maybe afterwards, after the show has finished, and, like, you don't want to come on live or whatever, and you can just go into the comments and put a little comment, and like, share, and like I said, like and share, and with your friends. That will boost the algorithms as well. At the moment, on people of the book, I'm under the 500 mark, and I'd like to kind of, like, increase it to the 500. So, if you can share with your friends and everything, and then, like, we can get over the 500 mark. If not, I think I'll wrap up because there's no questions, and I have to go and pick up that book now. I told them I'll be over in after 9. It's 9:30 here now in the evening. So I told him I'll be there after 9:30. By the time I'm going to get there, it's going to be late. So anyway, I think we'll end up here. We'll round up here. And I'll see you next week, inshallah. Okay, with dealing with jealousy. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.